At the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Dylan who keeps disturbing the teacher by making weird noises in class. Frustrated, the teacher punishes him and tells him to complete a Newton equation. But as Dylan nervously starts writing on the board, something strange suddenly begins to happen. He slowly starts disappearing, becoming invisible. Seeing this, the entire class is shocked because for the first time, someone is vanishing right in front of their eyes. On the other side, we now see a little girl named Cindy, who is just 6 years old. On the way, a boy tries to bother her, but Cindy is not an ordinary child. She lifts him and throws him straight onto a tree. Seeing this, all the women standing nearby are stunned, but her mother is not happy because she knows her daughter has super strength, which makes her different from others. On the other side, now the story introduces Jane, a 16-year-old girl. At school, some girls bully her during lunchtime and make fun of her. In anger, Jane uses her telekinesis power and throws all the food at those girls. Now it becomes clear that she is not a normal girl either. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see a boy named Tucker, who is at a swimming pool. Some boys make fun of him, but Tucker is also different. He stretches his body and creates a huge splash in the water, shocking everyone. Now the story tells us that all these kids are special, because there was already a superhero team in the world called Team Zenith. This team used to protect the world from dangers. The leader of this team was Captain Zoom, a hero with incredible speed, and his brother Concussion was also with him. The government used Gamma-13 radiation to increase their powers. At first, Zoom became even more powerful and faster, but this same radiation turned out to be dangerous for his brother Concussion. He became a deadly villain and started eliminating his own team members. In the end, to stop him, Zoom created a dangerous vortex. In this battle, Concussion was destroyed, but Zoom also lost all his powers. Now the story takes us 30 years into the future, where we see a secret facility called Area 52. Here, Dr. Grant, who was once a scientist in the Zenith program, reveals a shocking truth to military officer Larrabee. He says that 30 years ago, Concussion didn't die, but was trapped inside a dangerous dimensional rift, and now he is rapidly returning to our world. Larrabee refuses to believe this. He says he saw Concussion die with his own eyes, so how can he possibly come back? But Dr. Grant explains that although Zoom did stop him back then, his body was never found, meaning he didn't die, he was just stuck somewhere. Now they only have 12 days left, or Concussion will return and destroy everything. Hearing this, Larrabee decides that they must restart the Zenith program. For this, they need special kids who have strange powers, and to train those kids, there is only one person, Captain Zoom. On the other side, we now see Zoom, whose real name is Jack. He is now living like an ordinary man because all his superpowers are gone, but still, a little bit of ability remains in him. Like he can move his finger so fast that he can make a banana shake like a blender. Just then, Dr. Marsh arrives outside his garage and deliberately acts in a small way to make Jack come out. Jack brings her inside, and suddenly Dr. Grant and his team also arrive there. They tell Jack that they are forming a new superhero team and need his help because he is the only hero left in the world. But Jack doesn't want to go back into all this. He clearly refuses. Then, left with no choice, Dr. Grant uses a dart gun and knocks Jack unconscious, taking him along. When Jack regains consciousness, he finds himself tied up inside the secret base of Area 52. Dr. Grant stands in front of him and gives him a direct offer. Either he works with them and gets paid every month, or he goes straight to prison. Jack doesn't want to go to jail, so helplessly, tempted by the money, he agrees to their deal. Just then, Dr. Marsh arrives, who has been made the head of this new program. She is a huge fan of Jack and tells him that she has read all the comics of Captain Zoom and Team Zenith, but Jack doesn't show much interest in all this. Then Marsh tells him that they have brought 10 special kids here to form a new team, and Jack's job is to select the right ones and build a new Team Zenith. But as soon as Jack sees those kids, he is shocked because they are all very young children. He can't understand what kind of powers they could have, since no gamma tests were done on them. Then Marsh explains that no experiments were done on these kids. Instead, they were all born with superpowers, and she believes that even without gamma radiation, their powers can be enhanced. Now Jack starts testing the kids. Some of them turn out to be nothing special, but Dylan, Cindy, Jane, and Tucker get selected because of their unique abilities. All four are brought into a room where Jack asks them if they know why they are here. Cindy repeats what Marsh had told them, but Dylan says that it's all a lie. They were brought here because they are different from others. Then Jack reveals the truth. He says that he himself lived in this base as a child, and this place ruined his life. The military will force them to train, and the most dangerous part, they will be tested with Gamma-13 radiation. Hearing this, the kids get scared. Just then, Marsh angrily takes Jack away from there and says she had already made it clear that there would be no gamma tests on the kids. So why did he say that? Jack, frustrated, says that he knows Larrabee very well well, he will definitely use Gamma on the kids, and he himself is only betraying these kids for money, which is making him feel terrible inside. On the other side, Larrabee tells Dr. Grant that training the kids in such a short time is impossible, so he will prepare to give them Gamma doses himself, but he makes one thing clear. For now, Zoom must not find out anything about concussion. After Larrabee leaves, Dr. Grant shows Jack his old Captain Zoom superhero suit. He says they worked very hard to create this suit, but unfortunately, Jack never got the chance to wear it. Seeing the suit, old memories come rushing back to Jack, and he feels a little happy again. On the other side, Marsh gives the kids Zoom's comics and tells them the truth. The man they think is just a trainer is not ordinary, but Captain Zoom, who saved the world many times with Team Zenith. Hearing this, the kids are shocked and immediately rush to Jack. Cindy excitedly asks, "Will we also become superheroes like you? Will we get our own names and suits too?" Jack, a bit serious, moves his finger rapidly and says that earlier he could move his entire body that fast. That's why he had to wear a special suit so his clothes wouldn't burn. But he makes one thing clear: this is not a home, it's a military secret base, and everyone here has to follow the rules. Just then, Dylan taunts him, saying, "When you can't even use your own powers, how will you train us? I can't even believe you are Captain Zoom." After some time, the kids' training begins. Cindy easily lifts heavy weights, but when Jack makes fun of her, she angrily throws a huge block at him. Jack manages to escape but gets scared and quickly praises her to calm her down. Meanwhile, Dylan keeps escaping training again and again by using his invisibility. Dr. Grant doesn't understand why he's doing this, but Jack says it's simple. He doesn't like being here. He wants to run away. Now it's Tucker's turn, who is afraid of training. Marsh tries to encourage him, but Jack starts making fun of him. In anger, Tucker uses his power and sticks Jack to the wall. Now Jack questions Marsh. What exactly are we preparing these kids for? But surprisingly, even Marsh doesn't know the truth herself. Frustrated with Jack's behavior, she says, "In the comics, you were so good and heroic. Why have you changed so much now?" Then Jack reveals a bitter truth. He says everything shown in the comics is just stories created by the government. The reality is completely different. Angry, Marsh walks straight into the meeting and asks Larrabee what exactly is the threat they are preparing the kids for. Just then, Jack also arrives there and asks the same question, but Larrabee refuses to reveal anything and has Jack removed from the meeting room. After the meeting ends, Jack asks Marsh again, and she becomes a little emotional. She says that when she heard Jack was coming here, she was very happy, because as a child, she was different too. She had no friends, and she only found happiness by reading Captain Zoom comics. But now she feels that Jack is just wasting time with these kids for money. Saying this, she angrily walks back to her room. On the other side, Jack is taking the kids for combat training when he suddenly finds his old robot friend Peeb. Seeing him makes Jack happy, and he takes the kids to a secret underground basement. There, a spaceship is standing, which excites all the kids. They all get inside the spaceship and go out for a ride. On the way, they even stop to buy some food and snacks. But their little adventure doesn't stay hidden. The news about the spaceship starts appearing on TV. Seeing this, Marsh quickly rushes to the basement, but by then Jack has already returned with the kids. Angry, Marsh says, "You were supposed to train them and instead you took them out for a trip. How can you be so careless?" But Jack ignores her words. At night, Cindy has a scary dream and gets frightened, so she goes to Jack's room. Jack tries to send her back, but Cindy starts crying and insists on staying there. In the end, Jack lets her sleep on the couch. Then Cindy asks an innocent question. "Are we really different from others? And is that why my parents sent me here?" Hearing this, Jack is shaken from inside. He can't believe that such a little girl was sent to this military base by her parents. Jack comforts her. "You are not different. You are special. Your parents sent you here so you can learn to use your powers the right way and help people." Then Cindy uses her strength to pull a couch from the wall closer to Jack and falls asleep there. Seeing her innocence and power, even Jack is left amazed. From the next day, the kids' training begins with full intensity, but things don't go very well. Dylan keeps skipping training and running away again and again, and the other kids also fail to perform properly. Because of this, Jane gets angry and blames Jack. She says that if Jack trained them properly, they wouldn't be struggling so much. On the other side, Jane, Tucker, and Cindy together reach Dr. Grant's control room. There, Dr. Grant is making some changes in the training system, but the three of them start pressing buttons on the control panel for fun. Suddenly, heavy rain starts pouring in the training ground, then lightning strikes, and after that, it even begins to snow. Seeing all this, the kids get excited, but Dr. Grant is completely panicked. Meanwhile, on the other side, frustrated with Dylan's behavior, he is locked inside a special cell. Jack comes to meet him and tells him about his old team and concussion, then takes him out. Jack tells Dylan to focus his mind and find out where Jane is right now and what she is doing. Dylan tries, and suddenly he starts seeing everything. Even from far away, he can see Jane inside her room. Then Jack explains that this is his real power, called Mind Sight. He tells Dylan that the team needs a leader and he is capable of becoming one. Now Dylan asks about concussion, but hearing this makes Jack angry. Just then, Dylan realizes that concussion was none other than Jack's own brother. Jack reveals that his real name was Connor, and he was once a good superhero. He saved many lives, but Gamma-13 radiation turned him into a dangerous villain. On the other side, Marsh is secretly listening to all this through CCTV. Seeing the new team reminds Jack of his old friends, and now he finally decides to truly train these kids properly. Meanwhile, Jane has a chain as the last memory of her parents, and she believes that because of her powers, her parents left her behind. Dylan holds Jane's chain and uses his power to try and see her past. Just then, Jack arrives there with the research team. He says that now, not just physical, but mental training will also happen, so that the kids can properly control their powers. Now Jack truly begins training from the heart, and under his guidance, the kids start improving rapidly. This time, everyone's performance becomes much better. Seeing this change, Marsh gets surprised and asks Jack how he suddenly changed so much. Jack calmly says that after losing his old team, he realized how special they were, and he doesn't want these kids to make the same mistake. That's why now he wants to move forward, not just as a team, but as a family. Hearing this, Marsh feels happy. On the other side, Dr. Grant tells Larrabee that all their hopes now depend on Jack and Marsh, because only they can prepare these kids against concussion. He warns Larrabee not to use gamma radiation, because that is what turned concussion into a dangerous villain. Dr. Grant explains that concussion has now become even more powerful and might return sooner than expected. He shows a special device through which they can see the dimensional rift. Larrabee says he cannot rely only on kids. They must also have their own plan. Then, Dr. Grant explains that if the kids can distract concussion, he can trap him using his sonic net, and maybe even cure him. He also says that if Jack still had his powers, he could trap concussion back into the vortex, and reverse the effect of gamma radiation. Meanwhile, to celebrate the completion of training, Jack throws a small party with the kids. Dylan gives Jane a pendant with her parents' names written on it, and a sweet connection forms between them. Cindy dances with her robot friend Peeb, and even Jack looks a bit happy with Marsh. But suddenly Larrabee arrives there and stops the party. He brings a dose of Gamma-13 radiation with him and says that the kids will be given this in the morning. Jack immediately objects. He says this is dangerous for the kids, just like what happened to his team, but Larrabee doesn't listen at all. Jack realizes that now it's important to protect the kids. So the next morning, he quietly takes all of them to a secret place where there are no cameras, and this is the same place where he used to spend time with his old team. Jack gives the kids their superhero names, but none of them like those names. So everyone chooses their own. Dylan becomes Houdini, Tucker calls himself Mega Boy, Jane becomes Wonder, and little Cindy calls herself Princess. Smiling, Jack says, "Now our family is complete, but we need to get out of here because a huge danger is coming." Just then, Dylan starts getting visions. He sees that the military is preparing gamma radiation. He immediately tells Jack that they are going to test it on the kids, and the real purpose is to stop concussion, because he is still alive and returning. Hearing this, Jack gets furious and goes straight to Larrabee. He asks, "Do you really think these kids can stop concussion?" But Larrabee doesn't listen at all, and has him locked again in a special cell. Meanwhile, guards arrive to take the kids for gamma testing, but this time Marsh supports them. She uses her super breath to blow the guards away. Taking the chance, Dylan and Tucker handle the remaining guards, and together they go to free Jack. Jane pins a guard to the wall, and Cindy breaks the cell door with her strength. Jack is shocked seeing all this, especially Marsh, because he thought she was on Larrabee's side. But Marsh reveals the truth. She was different since childhood too, because she also has superpowers. Now everyone reaches the underground basement, but the path to the spaceship is blocked. As Jack tries to open it, an alarm goes off, and Larrabee finds out everything. Quickly, they all get into the spaceship and somehow escape from there. Jack tells Marsh, "Drop me where the dimensional rift is going to open. You take the kids somewhere safe." But this time no one is ready to leave him. They all stay together. Jack reaches the rift alone, and just then, concussion returns. In anger, he says, "You betrayed me. You left me alone for 30 years. And then he attacks Jack. Jack is weak, because he has no powers. Just then, the robot Peeb distracts him, and Cindy also joins the fight. Meanwhile, the military attacks with a sonic net, but concussion breaks it too. The net moves towards Cindy. She gets scared and asks for help, and then Jack's powers return. He rushes at lightning speed and saves Cindy, but Cindy falls unconscious. Jack panics, but she soon recovers. Now the final battle begins. Jack returns wearing his Zoom suit. Dylan and Jane together distract concussion. Tucker throws him into the air. Cindy attacks with full strength, and Jack spins rapidly to create a vortex. In the end, Marsh uses her super breath to push concussion into the center of that vortex. vortex, and Jack expands it into a mega vortex. This time, the bad effect of gamma radiation is removed, and Concussion becomes a good person again. Finally, the brothers reunite. Jack welcomes him back into Team Zenith, and now together they form a new team to protect the world, and this is where the story ends. So, how did you like this movie? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can keep getting more amazing stories like this. See you in the next video.